In this lecture, we are going to be looking at object interfaces in PHP. The very first thing that you need to know is that an interface is simply a class that begins with the keyword interface. Generally, in the programming community, we refer to an interface as a contract that specifies the methods that a class must implement. It doesn't really care how the class implements the method, but it does ensure that the methods are actually implemented. So, as a matter of fact, you can implement the method with an empty body and the interface doesn't really care about that. It will still be okay. All the methods that we declare inside of an interface must be public. We cannot have private or protected methods inside of an interface like we do in an abstract class. And remember from what I told you in the previous section, an interface does not contain any implementation. Yes, it contains public methods and can also contain some properties and constants, but there are no implementation. It just says provide these sets of methods if you want to implement this interface. How you actually implement this method is none of my business. The most difficult part for programmers, especially beginning programmers, is understanding when to use an interface and the benefits that can be derived from actually using an interface. So from what we have discussed so far, it is obvious that when we want to describe what something should do, we should then program to an interface. We should use an interface to specify a contract that describes what something should do, but not how it is being done. We can also argue that an interface can be used to solve the case study that we saw in the previous lecture. And this is something that is very general and I want you to understand. An interface cannot solve all your problems and you should not rely on an interface alone or an abstract class to solve all of your problems, but rather it is best to get into some common design patterns that has a combination of all of these aspect of object-oriented programming so that you can actually build a robust application. That being said, let us now get to the case study that we're going to use for interfaces in PHP. The case study that we have here is a very simple one. It says create a class that describes how dogs chase and kill rabbits. Okay, so let us get into the text editor and begin writing the code. I'm going to get rid of the codes here. And then I'm going to create a new class inside of the sroc folder called dog. So this is a very simple case study, right? We just want to describe how a dog chase and kill a rabbit. So right here, public function chase, and we can give it a parameter called target. And then inside of the method, we're going to do a var dump to say chasing a rabbit. Or we can actually use the parameter that we're passing in. So that will be target. And then the next one is to kill. So public function kill. And then we specify what is the target. var dump, I have just killed a target. And then we can come inside of index.php and create an instance of the dog class and show how a dog chase and kill a rabbit. Dog is equal to new dog. Then here we can say dog chase rabbit. And here we can say dog kill rabbit. And then let's do a reload on the browser. And here we can see chasing a rabbit. I have just killed a rabbit. So beautiful. We have created a class that solves the case study. Now the problem arises when after 2 weeks you are being told that, oh, we actually need to extend the functionality of this class that you created. Now we just realized that a lion can actually kill a rabbit or a cat can actually kill a rabbit. So we need you to write some methods or create a new class that shows that a lion can also kill a rabbit. So now what you have in your hand is a new set of requirements, and looking at the way that we've defined the class, it's going to be really difficult to solve this problem. So the first thing that would naturally come to our mind is, oh, we can actually use inheritance for this. So we can come into our text editor and then let's say we want to create a new class, and then let's just call this animal. And remember, the problem has not changed, But now we have a new requirement. Previously, we were asked to just create a class that describes how a dog can actually chase and kill a rabbit. And now we are told that, oh, a cat can actually chase and also kill a rabbit, for example. So we want to support this implementation. And like I said, your natural instinct would be to use inheritance, which is not bad. You can actually do that. So we're going to implement it now. Inside of the animal class, we want to group those methods that can be shared by animals that can chase other animals. So the use case here is that we have some animals that are predators and we have some animals that are prey. The predators can chase and kill the prey, and that is what we want to solve. So we're going to move those two methods here, chase and kill. Then I'll paste it here. Right now we have both methods here, chase and kill. We can now make the dog class extend the animal class and it can still do all the things that it used to do before. And now if we do a reload on the browser, we should still get the same result. Okay, so we still have the same result, but we have not actually solved the problem. Remember, now we have a cat that is also chasing a rabbit. And that's why we say, why not just use inheritance? So let's get back again into the code, and then let's create a cat class. And this should also extend animal. We can now say cat is equal to new cat, and the cat can also do the same thing. Cat, chase, rabbit. Cat, kill, rabbit. And if we do a reload, everything should still be okay. Okay, chasing a rabbit, I have just killed a rabbit. Okay, so let's get back again to the code, and then let's change this to lion. Change this to lion. And then let's change this to a tiger. Change to a tiger. We can see that a dog can actually kill a lion, and then a cat can actually kill a tiger, which is practically not possible. So what's the problem with the way that we have attempted to solve this? The problem is, one, when there are new requirements, it's going to be pretty difficult. We need to get back again to the animal class to make changes to our code. For example, we cannot differentiate here between which type of animal is a predator and which type of animal is a prey. We don't have any way to actually differentiate that. And as you can see, I pass in the string lion to the chase method, and it says that the dog is actually chasing a lion, which is practically not possible. So we need a more robust way to solve this problem, particularly because this implementation violates one of the solid principles, which is called open close, which states that a class should be closed for modification but open for extension. We should be able to extend the functionality of a class, but we should not modify the behavior of the class. Once we have a concrete definition of that class, it should be locked and open for extension. And the way that we are implementing this, we are always going to come here to make changes because there's a lot of things wrong with the implementation. The way that we can actually solve this is differentiate between animals that are predators and animals that are prey. And to do that, we can use interfaces. So let's now see how we can solve this problem using an interface. I'm going to get rid of all the codes here. We are still going to do some things here, which is why I said before that we cannot completely rely on an interface to do everything. We cannot completely rely on one specific aspect of object-oriented programming to solve a problem. We use a combination of different techniques to solve a problem, which is why we have the concept of design pattern. So right here inside of the SRC folder, I am going to create a new class, and it's going to be an interface. As a matter of fact, we actually need to create two interfaces. So the first interface that we want to create is called Predator. And this is going to define a set of methods that all predators should implement. And to make this an interface, just come here and say Interface Predator. And then inside of the interface, as I've mentioned previously, we can have method definitions, which are the contracts that any class which implements this interface must implement. Public function chase. We don't tell you how to chase, but we say you must be able to chase if you are a predator. Public function, kill. Should be able to kill other animals if you are a predator. And then we are going to have another interface. This is going to be prey. To be interface prey. And the prey interface is going to have two methods: public function chase by. So we provide a way for the prey to tell us which animal is actually chasing them. Then we also provide another method to tell us which animal actually killed the prey. So this will be killed by. And if you remember the issue that I highlighted previously when we use inheritance, let's come back again to index.php. Right here, we can see that a dog is chasing a lion. And the reason why we could do this is because we are not type inting. We are not saying that the only thing that a dog should be able to chase should be a prey. A dog should not be able to chase a predator unless that predator is also a prey. So you can actually understand the concept, because right now we have the predator interface. A lion is a predator, a dog is a predator, but a dog is also a prey. A lion can actually kill a dog, and a lion can actually kill a cat. All right, so let's get back again into the code and then try to solve this problem. For the chase method and the key method that we have here, we are going to do type inting. And we are going to say when you call this method, whatever you pass to it must be a prey, not a predator. So we are going to type int and say prey. So what we are doing now is ensuring that when these methods are being implemented, the right parameters are passed in. This is a way to safeguard our code, because now we can actually ensure that only a prey can be chased by a predator. And then we come inside of the prey interface. Only a predator can chase a prey. And then here we say only a predator can actually kill a prey. As simple as this is, we have now made our program very, very robust and secured. As a matter of fact, we don't care who the predator is. We don't care how the predator chased and killed the prey. We only care that whoever is chasing a prey must be a predator, and whoever is killing a prey must also be a predator. And then now let us come inside of the dog class. And here we are going to say this dog should implement the predator and the prey interface. So we use the implement keyword and say the dog should implement this interface, and it should, because a dog is both a predator and a prey, so it can actually implement both interfaces. And when we do this, you can actually see that my test editor is highlighting all of the methods that needs to be created. There are total 4 methods: chase by, kill, killed by, and chase. So I'm going to just use a shortcut to import all of those methods. And then we are going to write the implementation here. For our very basic example here, we can see that we have the chase by and killed by. This is something that is going to be shared in our program, so we can actually just abstract this. And then here, instead of calling this animal, I'm going to just rename it to prey methods. And then inside of here, I'm going to paste those 2 methods. The definition of the dog class has changed. It extends the prey method and implements both predator and prey interfaces. So we're going to write the implementation. Then I say var_dump, I am chasing a, and then let's just concatenate with the class name, get prey. So we're going to get class prey, which is going to give us the name of the class that the dog is currently chasing. For the key method, we are going to do something similar. var_dump, I have just killed a, get class prey. And that's all we actually need to do here. Right here, we're going to do a var_dump and say, please help, I am being chased by a, and right now we want to do get class and then pass in predator. So a prey can only be chased by a predator. And then for the key method, we're going to do something similar. Going to say var_dump get class, which is the prey, as being killed by a predator. And for the cat class, we can grab all of the method inside of the dog class. And then here say implement predator. Then I'm going to paste this here. Actually want to change this to a lion and then rename this to lion. So right now we can come inside of index.php and then test this out. So let's call this Billy is equal to new dog. Then let's call this Santa is equal to new lion. We actually need to create one more class which is going to be a prey so that we can actually illustrate what we're doing here. Rabbit. And this is going to extend prey methods and implement prey. So a rabbit is just a prey. We can now go back again to index.php and then here local equals new rabbit. And now we can begin the chase and kill operations. The first one will be Billy, chase, local. And then Billy, kill, local. And then we have Santa, chase, Billy. Santa, kill, Billy. And then we have local, chased by Billy. And then we have local, killed by Billy. And then if you look at the code on line 12, you can see that I'm calling the chase by method and then passing in local. So I'm indirectly saying that local, which is a rabbit, is actually chasing Billy, which is a dog, which according to our implementation is actually not correct. So we are actually going to change the method to chase. A dog chase a rabbit. Then let's do a reload on the browser. Can see that everything still works as intended. I'm chasing a rabbit, I've just killed a rabbit. I'm chasing a dog, I've just killed a dog. Please help, I'm being chased by a dog. Prey method has been killed by a dog. Prey method here is actually a bug which we are going to be fixing in the next lecture. We actually need to display the correct class name instead of the class that they are extending, which is prey method. Okay, so right here, there's something that we need to talk about again. If I pass in the wrong type of object to the chase method on Billy, you can see that my test editor is actually highlighting that it is expecting a prey, but it has gotten a predator. That is because lion is a predator and Billy, which is both a predator and a prey, cannot actually chase a lion according to our implementation. So this is going to result in an error. Let's do a reload. And then you can see uncaught type error, argument 1 passed to dog, chase must implement interface prey, instance of lion given. So this is actually a problem. You can now see that the code that we've written is actually smart enough to differentiate between the various classes of animals. It can differentiate between a predator and also a prey. That will be all for this lesson. I'll see you in the next lecture where we actually talk about late static binding to resolve the issue that we saw previously.